Hello, my name is Morgan Gray, and welcome back to the Afrocentric Podcast.
I pull up in these clothes, look so good, cause I'm in that hoe. You know, all these songs sound good, cause I'm on that hoe. Dead ass. Dead ass. I'm dead ass. It's not the diamonds, it's not the pearls. I'm that girl. It's just that I'm that girl. It's not my man. It's not my stand. I'm that girl.
With racism. We don't fuck with people who don't support the LGBTQ plus community. And baby, we damn sure don't fuck with anybody who don't love a beautiful black queen, baby. You see this case?
When they go low, I go low.
You don't let nobody act black and then go home and be white.
I got 2 pistols and a pit bull. Me. That's all I need.
It only takes a little bit of white brainwash to activate the cool chip in the average Negro.
You think Harriet Tubman was walking around with a fucking nice shiny fucking dress on with a fucking crown on her head when she was taking slaves to freedom?
And a lot of white folk have demonstrated eloquently that they don't have no sense.
And we are back once again with the Afrocentric Podcast. Now, this episode I'm particularly excited about. The title of it is The Radical Beauty of Self-Belief. And I have a beauty in the studio with me today. I'm really excited to introduce you guys to Taylor Clark. Say hey.
Hey.
Yes. So, Taylor is a model, and she's been working in the industry for a while, and that is important because today we're going to be sharing her personal experiences and journey with embracing her unique beauty as well as self-love. And we're also going to be highlighting the importance of self-belief because I feel like that needs to be promoted more in our community. So today we're going to be discussing the different challenges that she has faced within the modeling industry and how she has overcome those struggles. Is there anything you want to say before we get started?
I'm happy to be here, excited to be here and to share what I know. Hopefully I help others who want to jump in this career.
Yes, I'm excited too. I think you're going to touch a lot of hearts today, and plus we're going to be exposing secrets of the photography industry. So, yeah, I'm excited. This is going to get real juicy.
Let's get ready to rumble!
Ooh. Shortcake!
Damn! Y'all killing me with this.
So, Taylor, we are going to start off with a new segment I just started. It is called Fight, Marry, Kill, African American Edition. So this game really puts a twist on the classic fuck, marry, kill concept. And in this game, I'm going to present you with a list of African American households, and I want you to make a choice between them. You're gonna decide whether you want to fight, marry, or kill them. Okay.
Okay.
All right. So for your list, Taylor, fight, marry, kill: Will Smith, Samuel L. Jackson, and Morgan Freeman.
Okay, I would fight Will Smith, marry Samuel Jackson, and kill Morgan Freeman. He been here.
How you come up with that answer so fast? And why we fighting William? He is a nice, light-skinned man.
I mean, yes, and I like him in his career, but like, I don't know.
You
the
dangerous.
The whole slap thing.
That's why I went fight him. That hand heavy. He gonna put that
is
down.
Kind of right.
I know I'm right. Anybody ready to slap somebody on TV ain't nobody to be fucked with but to be fed.
You right.
But that's fine.
Then also, Morgan Freeman, I feel like he just been old for so long.
Don't talk about us. He leave us out of this conversation.
He been old for so long.
That's good. That means he's had wisdom for a good long time. You gonna marry him, right?
No, I said I was marrying Samuel Jackson.
What makes Samuel different from Morgan? Them the same niggas in different fonts.
Yeah, but like, has Samuel Jackson been in like drama?
No, and he been married for a while too. I ain't heard nothing bad about Samuel.
Plus, I think he likes anime too. And we can just sit and just watch like One Piece.
I just want to watch the Marvel movies with him in the background telling me about
that
the
too.
shit. I would never make me very much happy there.
So what would you do?
Fight, marry, kill. Alright. Alright. I'm gonna fight Morgan Freeman.
Why you gonna fight him?
He the most feeble out of all of them. I'm gonna knock that joke off his feet.
Oh my God, because he's weak?
Yes, and because he played the Lord, so I'm gonna send him to go meet him.
Oh my God.
Mm-hmm. So I probably would marry William because he probably one of the wealthiest on this list. And I will have like a separate marriage. You know, you do what you need to do, and I do what I need to do, and I just use your bank account instead of using mine.
So you want an open marriage?
With William, William Smithard, yes. And then Samuel, we gonna kill him. That nigga look like he made out of titanium. Like he built for it tough. I feel like it'll take about 5 or 6 bullets to get through Samuel's chest. You know, he look like a nigga that don't die easily.
No.
Yeah, that's why I'm going ahead and let him let it loose.
But it seemed like a lot of work.
That's fine by me. If he was beating my ass, that'd be a lot of work too.
Oh my God.
So I would marry William. We killing Samuel and Morgan Freeman. Yeah, I'll whip his ass. Like I said, I'll knock him off his feet. And I don't feel bad about my decision. I just have, you gotta play it smart.
Okay.
I'm now wondering, there's been so many conversations throughout the years when it comes to fashion magazine covers about cultural appropriation.
Yes.
I remember sometimes seeing photo shoots where it'd be one of the Jenners. Yes. Kendall Jenner having an afro, you know what I mean? Or Kim Kardashian. And then you'll have some folks, maybe Vogue will be like, a trend of braids is coming in, but it'll be Kim as like the face of it. Yep. And obviously you have a lot of people that are upset because why is my culture being used as a costume?
Yes.
Did you ever end up having conversations around cultural appropriation?
It was all the time.
Yeah.
But when, for example, in 1976, when I started working, the first thing beside the discrepancy in pay was that they always pushed tokenism. Tokenism. Yeah, there was one black model at a time. So they made you feel that you have to dethrone that sister for you to get space, right? And so I come from a different mentality. Being from politics and majoring in political science, everything I did it through that filter. The politics of beauty, the politics of race and beauty, right? But at the same time, I came from a place that I was never treated like how they treated black African-American models. And I came from a place also that I have never, ever described myself before I came to the United States as a black person. I come from a black country.
Yeah.
So there was no reason for us to call ourselves black. We were like Somalis, and we are fierce people.
Yes.
This is the only black African country that has one language and one religion. We made sure of that we had that unity. So I come from that kind of a place. So when I came here, what I did, the first thing when I heard about the tokenism and how they were pitching me against Beverly Johnson, who was the top model at that time.
Yes, we've had her on our
Speak
show.
on it. Speak on it.
Yeah, I became friends with her.
Yes. Yes.
And so they will go together to jobs, right? If she couldn't do a job, she'll say, what about Iman? Or I couldn't do it. So all of a sudden, that door opened that there will be more black models can be used at the same time.
Yes.
Right? Because, we're not a cookie cutter. We don't all look alike. We're not only one. But also what they did with me is that they would say to me in a whole white room, they will say to me, but you're more beautiful than them. Who's them? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So they try to instill that in you, that you are better, because they need to have one person, right? So, and I always took that to an offense. And I've always said to them, and they would say, they've said like, the black community will say, she looks like a white woman dipped in chocolate. I took an offense to that because I am a Somali. I have not a drop of blood of white in me.
Not one drop.
Not a drop. I'm pure Somali.
There you go.
Yeah,
Come
so
on.
I didn't want anybody to actually put me into that language or any white person to take any credit of how I look because I have white in me. I don't have any white in me.
You better talk your shit. You better talk your shit, Iman.
Wow. Let's be clear.
Let's be very clear. Yeah.
All right. Mike,
don't take credit for that.
So, Taylor, your first question for the afternoon, can you share your personal journey of how you became to believe in yourself as an act of resistance?
With me, honestly, like, it took a lot. Like, growing up, I didn't really believe in myself, honestly. Dark skin, growing up in the South, didn't really see anybody who looked like me, like, out social media. Like in places where you would consider it to be like beauty, whether that's like a magazine or music videos or just anything like that. And growing up, it was just a point where I was just like, you know what, forget what everybody else saying. I am beautiful. And like I think another factor that played into that was when I did the big chop and I like cut off my hair because I had a perm, and I went back natural, and I thought it was so weird how when I did that, lots of people thought like, oh, like you're so pretty, but you're such a rebel for doing that. And I was like, what is so different?
So rebellious about cutting your hair.
Right. And for me having like wearing my normal hair that grows out of my scalp, and I was like, I don't understand why it's looked at that way. And for some people, I was even like told I should be ashamed that I had like cut
your hair off.
Yeah, and like wore my natural hair because I had long, straight hair, and I was like, I'm tired of getting perms. Like I got a chemical burn. It was real bad. I was like, I'm just not getting it anymore.
Yes.
And so I was like, I don't understand why people look at me. And I was young. I was like probably in like the 7th grade. And I was like, all right, nah, forget what everybody else saying because they clearly don't know me, and they don't know my heart, and they don't know my soul. So like, there's no point to even like let that bother me.
I think that's very beautiful, and that is probably the essence of this conversation, is like the rebellious spirit. I'll say this, so like in a lot of African American folklore, rebellious or being a trickster spirit, like in European perspective, that's a very negative thing, but in African American folklore and belief, that is an act of endearment. So like there are tales of people like John the Conqueror, who was known for being like a rebellious or a trickster spirit, but because you were rebellious, you were able to do what you wanted or needed to do. You were smart enough to be able to outwit your master. But I think that the response to you going from having long straight hair to like an afro is a result of Eurocentric beauty standards because people place so much femininity in long hair.
Yes.
And I think it's really hard for people to like reroute their minds to consider beauty as something else.
Mm-hmm. That is true. And like, I don't know why, but like in it all, like it's all about kind of like rewiring like your brain and how you think and how you look at things and like people's perspective of things. And I feel like for a while, for a long time, we're taught that like certain things are supposed to be a certain way, and if they're not, you're not going to be happy, you're not going to be successful, and you're just not going to like live a good life.
I completely agree with you. And then when you step outside of those bounds and stuff like that, it's hard to recreate a whole new norm, like to go out of the limb and create something that has never been seen before. That's oftentimes like very, very scary. Like I always talk about how much I admire like LGBTQIA relationships, especially with like gay men, because their relationships are so far out of the bounds that they're able to create and foster an environment that serves them. And sometimes it's way better because they are looking at things as they truly are and not what society has fabricated to us that is the norm.
Right.
Yeah, so I think that that's powerful, but it takes a level of self-understanding and a level of resistance that to be able to have that type of mindset. And a lot of people do not have the willpower or the mental capacity to be able to handle that.
We have what they say 48 shades in our in African American women, you know, and so whereas Caucasians have 12 shades, so it gives us a little more diversity. So there's, you know, you may see someone really, really, really pale and really, really dark, and it's just so beautiful. And I think designers are realizing that, magazines are realizing that, and they're saying it's time now, you know, put us on the covers, put us in the magazines and the makeup, cosmetic campaigns and stuff like that.
So I wanted to first start off, let's talk about how did you end up in this industry, and then we're going to be focusing on some of the not so glamorous parts of the modeling industry.
Okay. Well, I honestly kind of stumbled into modeling. My cousin, some years back, she got into photography, and from there she needed like a subject, and I started modeling back when I was in like middle school, high school, on and off. And I got back into it again seriously back in 2020 during COVID, because I guess everybody was you know, bored, and a lot of photographers just wanted to create stuff. And I feel like a lot of people created different stuff in that period of time being cooped up in the house. And from there, I networked with different people, and I got signed to a mother agency last year, and now I'm working on getting signed to a bigger agency outside of Mississippi.
Tell me about the one that you're signed to now in Mississippi, and what was it that made it so interesting that you feel comfortable signing with them?
Well, for one, I honestly didn't think I was going to get into that agency. It is a mother agency, and basically a mother agency is an agency that develops you. And then after they develop you, they'll give you like jobs. They'll hire you for like local job boutiques and stuff like that. And from there, they'll get your book and portfolio together, and then they'll send you off to other agencies to see if they want to book you or hire you. And then you'll move there and get like better jobs, better pay. And how I got into with them was they sent out a flyer, I think, on Instagram, and they said they were looking for girls that were 5'8" and up.
How tall are you?
5'5". And I didn't think I was gonna get it. And I had a photographer friend, he sent it to me, and I was like, yeah, I saw it, but I was like, I'm not 5'8". He was like, just do it anyway. And I was like, all right, fine. He was like, I know the woman who's over it. Send me your digitals. And I was like, okay. So I sent him the digitals, and he sent it to her. I think he told her I was 5'6" or something like that.
I love a good lie. I do.
And she was like, oh yeah, she looks tall, she looks good. Like,
because you do look tall. I think it's your physique. Because you're lean, I would assume that you're tall, because you're my height.
Not at all.
I'm 5'5".
I'm not tall at all.
You average.
Yeah,
average height.
Very average height. And she was like, yeah. And I talked to her, and she liked me, and she liked my portfolio, and she saw my Instagram page. And then from there, I decided to sign with her, and been working with her ever since.
That's nice. And I really love that for you, because we are in a place, because we are from Starville, we're in a place where a lot of people don't go out on a limb and try to do something that's different or something that's not common. So you really have had to pave your own way in order to do it. Mm-hmm. So tell me more about, like, do you ever feel like you're fighting an uphill battle trying to pave your own way into this industry?
Sometimes, but then like other times I also acknowledge like I have had a lot of help from different people, like unexpected help. Like I didn't expect for him to know the agent and to send my digitals in to help me get signed. And I've gotten a lot of different jobs from simply networking from different people. So yeah, it can be hard and it can get difficult, but in a way I know like I'm not alone in it. And like I'll always have like some type of help or fallback from somebody else.
Let me ask you this. So one thing that I think of when I think of self-belief is asking for help. Mm-hmm. Do you have an issue asking other people for help?
Maybe.
No.
Yeah, I do, yeah.
I don't mind to asking people for help. I ask until I ain't got no more breath in my body.
That is something I'm having to work on. Like asking for help. Mm-hmm. Like if people offer help, I'll take it. But a lot of times I like to do stuff on my own. And that's like what I'm realizing like I need to do, because I'm sure I could get further if I ask for help.
I think that is probably the best things you could do for yourself, mm-hmm. like, to be quite frank with you, because I'm highly capable of doing a lot of shit, but it's some shit I simply just can't do, and right. that comes with acknowledging your weaknesses as well as your strengths. So example would be like technology and digital shit. For me, I can't do it, mm-hmm. but I ask for help, and the worst a motherfucker can tell me is what?
Yeah.
No. Get the fuck on. I ain't got no time. You a stupid bitch. Like that, and that don't do nothing for me. I feel like that is one of the greatest signs that you believe in yourself, is when you get to the point where you can ask for help and mm-hmm. accept help as well.
Yeah.
I love it.
5 things you should never do for an agency. Number 1, lose weight. I remember an agency told me at a casting that I should lose 2 inches off my hip because it'll make me more marketable in fashion. And 3 months later, I got booked for a campaign with Marc Jacobs without them. Number 2, be scared to leave. You will always be booked and busy. It's better to be with a team that celebrates you and doesn't just tolerate you. You feel me? Number 3 is beg for your money. If you have to beg for your money, sue their asses. I know this is a bit controversial, but it's okay. Number 4 is dye or cut your hair. This is not America's Next Top Model. Only do that shit if you want to do that shit. And number 5 is let them take your money. I have met so many people who have told me horror stories about how they didn't get paid. I didn't tell you this. I have a lawyer email them.
So now that you are in the industry, Taylor, like, what are you learning that is not so glamorous about the industry? What are the things that have been romanticized or hyper-focused on that people, that is not so fun to deal with or do?
Well, for one, like, I feel like when people think of models, they think about, like, either runway models or, like, editorial mm-hmm. models. And honestly, they don't make a lot of money. Editorial people, like, they don't get paid at all. Runway, they don't get paid that much money.
They might just get to keep some of the clothes.
They don't even get to do that a lot of the time.
You know what? And I be hearing a lot of horror stories about, like, models going down runways, shoes way too little, mm-hmm. clothes do not fit. Do you want to speak more to that?
I haven't really experienced that, also because I am 5'5", so that's not my market, my area.
That ain't your ministry, baby. That's not your calling.
That's something I had to realize, and I was honestly okay with, because what I want to do is actually like e-commerce, like the models that be on like Fashion Nova, Pretty Little Thing, and be like on the websites and stuff like that. And that's where most of the money is.
I can see that.
You be there for like days at a time, working hours, and then you get paid good money.
Okay.
And they use the same people over and over again for like Pretty Little Thing, Boohoo.
They really do.
They do.
Yes, they do.
So you're getting your work in. Another thing that's not so glamorous, I would have to say, is like you have to like wear spring and summer clothing in the wintertime outside taking shoots. I've done that a lot.
Sweated your ass off.
Or being frozen, like just.
Oh my!
You know, like spring clothes.
Tell us a story.
Let me see. A boutique around here. I like working with is George Mary's, and like a lot of times I do like her spring and like summer attire, but like she shoots it in February.
Yes, before Fashion Week or around the time of Fashion Week, right?
Well, before like just for I guess so. I don't know.
Yeah, because that's when the new trends come in.
Yeah, so that's when she does it, and like all of them mostly are taken outside and it's cold.
I believe that.
And freezing. And there are some times where like I'll be taking pictures of like fall clothes and summertime kind of sort of hot.
I believe that too. Is there anything else that just like people should be more aware of if they were finna come into this industry?
Also be aware, like another not so glamorous thing is like the fact that your body and your image is tied to your work, and that people will constantly judge that.
Yes, they do.
And you have to like mentally prepare and understand that like it's not what you think it is.
How have you worked with and around your anxiety when it comes to stuff like that?
It's, for me, honestly, I understand that it's not personal.
Yes.
When it's rejection, like I might get rejected from an agency, not because they don't like me, not because I'm ugly. Maybe they have a girl that look like me, and we don't want to compete for work. Or maybe I'm going for like a job, and they're simply not looking for somebody like me, but there's somebody else who is. So it's like, don't let that get you down. Don't let that stop you. Know that there are other opportunities that arise, and rejection isn't the end all be all.
Final question. I wanted to know, like, what was the reaction from your peers when you started getting into this industry? Like, when you started to climb up this social network, how did the people from your hometown or the people that you knew or were close with, how did they react? Did they treat you any differently?
I had a lot of supporters. I was shocked at how many people actually supported me, and like people who I didn't even realize were watching me, and they were commenting and was like, "Oh, I saw your picture," or I know you from Facebook, stuff like that, and it's really encouraging.
That's wonderful.
Yeah.
It's good to have a community like that, and it's good to know that people do believe in you. That's really nice. I love that for you, because everybody does not have that type of network.
Yeah, I noticed that. But yeah, I do have a lot of people who are like rooting for me, and it's happy. It makes me happy.
It makes me happy too, girl. It's good to hear shit like that, because niggas need to know that shit like that exists, like in real life. Everybody is always so focused on like the negativity in spaces like that or relationships with women. It's good to see that people can crowd around a woman who is not traditionally or conventionally beautiful and believe in her and push her and want the best for her. So I love that for you.
Never do I get nervous. Even when I did my first fashion show, they told me to act like a cat, like very cat-like, and I took it literal, and I started like looking at my hands like paws at the end of the runway and started going meow. And my mom and dad were like, "Ty, you really need to study this because that was really awful." But I was never nervous.
So can you share like some strategies when it comes to setting boundaries with photographers and not accepting every single opportunity that comes to your way?
Yes. So for one, you also like when, say, a photographer comes to you for a job, you have to understand that not every opportunity is a good opportunity. You need to really like step back. I would say look at their work, see if it aligns with what your image or what your brand is or what you want your brand to be as a model, because there are different types of modeling. And if there's something that you're not comfortable with doing, don't do it.
Yes. Now,
be firm on like a no.
Yes. So, I'll definitely wanted to hit on like the Me Too movement of 2020 and how it really impacted this specific community, because it really exposed the predatory behavior of a lot of photographers. So for those who do not know, during 2020, during the pandemic, there was a wave of Me Too female feminists all throughout different universities, and it just kind of happened like a chain reaction back to back, where women were getting online and exposing photographers for trying to use photography as a means to have sex, or making their photos overly sexualized. Come on, let's talk about it.
So for me personally, I haven't experienced that with anybody because I'm really strict on the type of people that I work with. I'm really professional. Like if you come to me, if you're a photographer and you come to me wanting to talk to me in any other way, like sexually or like romantically, and then from there if I tell you no, you want to work with me, I won't work with you.
How did you get to that point though?
It was I started out the back like that. Like I was just like, if you want to work with me, I'm very professional. I don't play about modeling. Like, that's how serious I am. And if you want to work with me, I want you to come to me professional as a photographer and ask me. But if you come to me wanting to, like, date and then I turn you down and then you back and be like, oh, well, do you want to work with me? Then to me, it makes it seem like this is just your second chance for trying to be in my presence.
So that's a red flag for you.
Yeah.
That's real. And I really wanted to get that, like, the idea of setting bounds. So, like, I definitely had my stint where I was taking photos as a plus size woman, and I did have an experience like this. One of the photographers they end up exposing down here, I had a really bad experience with him. He wanted to do like this photo shoot in the Rose Gardens in the middle of the day, and he wanted me to take my top off. He just wanted me bed titties out, both of them just swaying in the breeze. No. And that is so common. Like, it's so common. And it's also very scary to see how hypersexual these photographers are, because they really do utilize their opportunity to meet women, to exploit women, as well as a way to make money and rip people off. Because I've also had photo shoots where photographers never sent me my photos back. I've had at least 2 or 3 like that.
You have to be really, really picky. I'll also say, like, ask around to other people before, like, you work with somebody and ask how their experience was.
Girl, you would have to ask women because niggas be lying.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, ask girls how their experience was working with them, how long it took them to give you your pictures back, if you got your pictures back. Because I have had some experience where I did photo shoots where I think it was maybe just like 1 or 2, and I didn't get the pictures back.
I traveled to Atlanta to do a photo shoot, and I never got my pictures back. And then this white woman wanted to do a photo shoot with me for like Black History Month. I went to Columbus. I never got my pictures back. I never saw them pictures or anything.
Plus, you never posted them nowhere.
I don't know where my pictures is. And I just broke the dress I did my photo shoot in yesterday. So, fuck it.
That's so annoying.
As a model, I am beyond frustrated and annoyed with male photographers. I know this is a tale as old as time, but you would hope that eventually motherfuckers would just stop being nasty. It is absolutely baffling to me that a man can grab a camera, call himself a photographer, and have access to whatever woman he wants. And somehow they have turned collab test shooting into like fucking eHarmony for them. I say that they are not disrespectful on like actual sets of actual fucking jobs. They are disrespectful there too. I have been modeling since I was 18, and the situations that I have been put in are just fucking mind-blowing. Unfortunately, this is an industry that a lot of men know young women come into that are impressionable and easy to manipulate. I remember literally being at a shoot one time. I had just turned 18, you guys, and this photographer was trying to convince me to shoot topless, like literally trying to like lift my shirt up and tell me like, oh, it's fine, you're gonna be okay. And unfortunately, when you're that young and just starting out in the industry, you don't want to have a bad reputation, you don't like confrontation typically, you don't want to cause problems, and you want to book jobs. They are well aware of this and they use it to their advantage. I remember hearing from other models like, oh, don't say anything about this photographer because he's connected to this client and he might say something bad about you and you might not be able to get booked with them. I have had instances where I've had to give my phone number to photographers just to communicate about shoots, and they continue to call me and text me and harass me. I've had photographers text me later to make comments like, oh, your breasts are so beautiful. I literally had one time where a photographer told me that his only birthday wish was that I wouldn't be on my period. He also had a girlfriend. I remember having this like pretty well-known photographer reach out to shoot with me, and I was super excited. And this was a pretty good photographer. His work was great. It was gonna be great for my portfolio, and he was wanting to do like a test shoot. So neither my agency nor me were gonna have to pay to get these images done. Obviously, I'm super excited about this, so I sent him some mood board ideas, and he's like, oh, well, yeah, that's nice, but like, I have some other ideas. He sends through these photos of like nude photo shoots, whatever, blah, blah. I was like, great. At this point, I'm older, I've been in my career longer, I'm much better at telling photographers like, no, I'm not doing that shit. So I tell him pretty politely like, hey, that's not content I'm really trying to create, like, can we do something else? Actually, he stops answering me, so I text him again, I'm like, hey, do you still want to shoot? This man goes, oh, I got COVID, I can't shoot. No reschedule, nothing, we hadn't even set a date. He was just like, I got COVID, I can't shoot.
No, what happened was that I didn't want to shoot butt-ass naked in front of your nasty ass, and you didn't want to shoot anymore. Obviously, with paid jobs, I cannot choose what photographer is going to be on set. But with test shoots and things now, when photographers reach out to me on some bullshit, talk about, hey baby, hey love, blah, 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 that shit, I don't give a fuck how good of a photographer you are, I am not talking to you. Sure as fuck am not shooting with you. You have to use your camera to gain access to a woman, you need to think about things. Girls, I promise it is so much more worth it to be rude as fuck back to them than to put yourself in an uncomfortable position.
Also with this, for me, when it comes to like, after I accept a job from a photographer, I make sure that I bring somebody with me at all times. Just for like safety reasons, especially like if it's a creative shoot and they reached out to me or something like that. Mm-hmm. It's nice to have like, say, your mom or like a sibling or somebody to like go with you on the shoot or whatever. And also just to make sure that things don't go sideways when you show up to the shoot, I will also recommend like you ask for a mood board just so you know what they want to shoot and what vibe.
Baby, them niggas don't know nothing about no Pinterest. Like,
they know how to make a collage.
They don't even know how to do that. They just gonna explain to you what it is they trying to do in a very like rural ass place in the middle of nowhere.
I have to have like a collage of some pictures of what you want, what the vibe's gonna be, so I know what I'm getting into.
Yes, Taylor, because you're not working in any other circumstances. That's not your vibe. You was a working woman, and I love that for you. Look, so I wanted to ask you, how did you go from like just like doing it as a hobby to getting paid for it? Like, I know a lot of people struggle with crossing that threshold. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I recently started getting paid for it.
That's good.
Yeah. Honestly, I started getting paid for it for real once I got into my mother agency, because that's really when you're going to start making money. When you start off, you probably won't make any money, because a lot of the work will be you trying to build your book, and it's easier to exchange your time for pictures than for you to pay a photographer. So, and a lot of photographers want subjects to shoot often for like creative work and stuff like that. And honestly, like, I got my first like really high paying job from networking. Like, the boutiques that I work with here, who I actually get paid in like store credit. I think I get paid from them because I've been working with them for years now. And a lot of the people who know the owner saw me on their page, and I worked with, say, like a bridal boutique in like Memphis. I did another one where it's like a jean company and they make like custom jeans.
That's fine.
So yeah, networking is also very important.
I know it's also nice to be like surrounded by creatives and entrepreneurs and stuff. Like, being around creative people inspires me.
Yeah.
I love it.
And it helps you a lot. You learn a lot of different stuff too. You shouldn't even think about.
I love that. Do you have any more tips for the girlies that might want to try to get where you are?
Other tips? Networking. That's like how to start if you want to start.
Yeah.
Look for photographers in your area, reach out to them, follow them. Also, you can reach out to like makeup artists as well, because they'll want like models to practice onto and showcase like their work online as well. And from there, like, build up your portfolio, take good digitals. That's very important because that's what agencies want. And do research on what agency you want to join and apply.
What type of models do you feel like are in high demand right now?
Honestly, I feel like every different type of model, like, everybody can really model in a way, for real.
I feel like brands are really looking for like the exotic, like the super mixed, or when it comes to like black girls like us, they want like people who have like your darker, like rich skin tone and stuff.
Yeah.
Or people who have like alopecia or like shit like that.
I feel like
vitiligo. Yeah, and the freckles and shit.
Yeah. But I feel like everybody, they looking for everybody. It just depends on like where, like what brand, what company.
Yeah, I like how inclusive like brands like Fenty is. Mm-hmm. Rihanna put a fat nigga on the cover in a heartbeat, baby.
Oh, yeah,
I hope you do. We do too. So, Taylor, like, how did you handle rejection and develop like this mindset that normalized rejection as a part of your journey?
Like I said before, like making sure, like knowing my worth, really knowing what I have to offer and value myself, and then knowing like it's not as personal as you might think. Knowing that a no one place is a yes somewhere else.
That's true. That's a really good perspective. I don't take no well.
Really?
Yeah. I'm the type of woman that goes after what I want. Mm-hmm. And if someone tells me no, I'm the type of person to go find your boss and convince your boss to tell me yes. Oh I'm like I'm a heavy hitter. I don't stop until I get what I want.
I see a no as like, okay, this opportunity don't work, well maybe there's somewhere better for me.
Yes. Now I see that, but when I get a no, like I apply to a lot of fellowships, all types of different jobs and adventures and types of shit like that. Mm-hmm. And I do the work. Like I can write my ass off. I can present. I'm intelligent and I'm creative. So when I've been to pour my heart and my thoughts out to somebody and I know they're of quality and they tell me no, mm-hmm. I get offended. Because how dare you?
It's understandable. But it's also like just reassuring yourself like
I'm still good enough.
Yes.
Oh, I know I am. But it's the audacity. That's what it be for me. It be the audacity. Because that's how highly I think of myself.
Right.
Like I feel so. I always tell people, number one, if I was a bad man, I put my money on me. I put my money on me every time because that is how much I believe in myself. I know when I walk into a room and someone hands me a task, I believe I can do it to the highest amount, to the best of the quality. I know that when I walk into the room, I'm probably one of the smartest motherfuckers in the room because that is how much I believe in myself. So when someone critiques my work and I know what the quality and the amount of effort, I do get taken aback by it because how dare you? Mm-hmm. You couldn't do this on your best day and I'm doing it on my worst day. That's how I feel about myself, and I wish more people felt that way about themselves and about the work that they do.
Mm-hmm. I understand that, and I get that. Especially with that particular like field and job. Mm-hmm. Yeah. But when it comes to like this industry, I just feel like it is a tad bit different.
I believe it.
Yeah.
Because I believe it. I believe that there are a lot of opportunities that you are constantly applying for, and I believe that you can always find it. But I feel like there's so much of an urgency for what I'm doing.
Yeah.
And like I feel like, especially with social media, the way that social media is changing the way that we live, there are going to be a slew of opportunities.
Yeah.
Especially, yeah. So I can understand why you feel, but I think that we both right.
We are, yeah.
I'm fine with it. As long as I was right.
You're right. You are right.
So, like, how did you shift your mindset to view rejection really as this, like, normal part?
You kind of have to. Like, you don't have a choice, really.
How many?
Because you get a lot of no's.
How much is a lot?
Like, I've been trying to, like, get an agency since, like, high school. Mm. It's been, what, like 6 years?
Because it's about 7, 8 for me.
But then, like, I took a break, too. But, yeah, like, you get a lot of no's.
Okay. I understand that. And I'm telling you right now, I would still be offended. I'd be so beefed out with these folks.
Like, the agencies that, like, I didn't get emails back to, or, like, I was just like, okay. Moving on. Next.
That's how I feel. I feel that. I just be somewhere with my lip poked out. I just don't like that. I don't like it when people tell me no. Because, again, a bitch believe in herself.
Right.
So, if you don't believe in me, that's your loss. But you're right. I feel like it's time to revert the way that we look at failures and the way that we look at no's. I feel like that is such a large part of American society. Is like, as you're growing up, people like hammer and hunker down into you. Don't fail. If you fail, it's a bad thing. But no one ever takes the time really to almost romanticize the no. Like, okay, if you failed or you got a no, there was obviously something else around the corner for you. There was a learning experience. Right. You can take that opportunity and learn from it and grow from it. And I think that is what's so hard about living in a world like this, because I feel like our generation is receiving the most no's. I feel like generations before us were just, they say, yeah, hell yeah, come on in this bitch. Yeah. Do what you need to do and leave. So a lot of stuff was handed to them, and the motherfuckers been telling us no almost all our lives. So I feel like the thought process behind the no or behind the rejection also needs to be modernized.
Right, because a no and rejection doesn't really mean that you failing. You just need to reassess, maybe.
Yeah, you do.
And keep it pushing.
Yes. And be innovative and creative when you're moving forward and stuff. And you know, like they be saying, one person's no is another person's yes. And you probably did save yourself a lot of heartache and hardship, because I have received a lot of no's from people who just personally didn't like me, or they thought they knew who I was. And I feel like that's why I've learned to take it so personally, because a lot of times for me, it don't even be about the work. It be about motherfuckers that think they know who I am and know like how I move or how I operate myself, which isn't fair. But you're right, when you're in the industry like you're in, motherfuckers don't know you from a can of paint.
No, and they see hundreds of people a day.
Yes, and like your life, the way that you think, this shit don't mean shit to you, because I feel like in so many ways your body is disposable within that industry. You can always find another anorexic, bulimic ass bitch that's 6 feet tall with blonde hair, and she'll do the job the same as the next brunette bitch with double D's.
I handle no's now as God's way of guiding me. I don't see it as that person rejected me. I just see it as I'm not meant for that. Yeah. What is for me will not pass me by, and if it passes me by, it's not for me.
Come on.
So that's how I handle my no's.
Taylor, I'm really excited about this question. So what advice do you have for individuals who really struggle with self-belief and embracing their own beauty?
With that, I feel like it's important to mentally know that you are enough. Believe that you are enough no matter what anybody else says. For me, especially to like keep myself in check, like affirmations are like a must.
I knew you was an affirmations girl.
Oh, I talk to myself all the time.
I do
might
too.
Be a little crazy, but like I'll pipe her up. I'll pipe myself up.
Me and Morgan be having great conversations.
And like I have to, like on a daily. I feel like it's really important, especially like with social media, that you can get to start to like comparing yourself to others real quick, and that can really kind of make you question yourself and your beauty and like your worth.
How often do you find yourself comparing yourself to other people?
I'm trying to like do better on it, and kind of often, like if I'm like a day where like I'm scrolling on my phone constantly, I'll be like, oh, I wish I was thick like her.
I see that because I did the same thing until I started like monitoring what type of content that I like
intake.
Yes. Yeah. And I was talking about this on another episode, Big Bags Get Bent too. This episode I did with Jessica, and I was talking about how Twitter really did it for me, because you'll be on Twitter and you'll see the most exotic ass bitches ever, boy. Them bitches be big stallions and they natural hair 45 inches long, and they just got skin like a baby's bottom, and they just look like they be really living the life. But them bitches don't look like me. And I want to surround myself with the beauty in which I find in myself. And I want to bring that out into real life. So, like, I surround myself with things that are beautiful to me.
Right.
Yes. What's another piece of advice for people that are struggling with their self-belief and beauty?
Like I said, like with social media, sometimes you do just have to have like a break. Like just take a break and like pamper yourself. I would say, like pour into yourself is really important. Like take like just a self-care day. Get off your phone.
Let's talk about the affirmations though.
And
like, what's your favorite affirmation for yourself?
Like, I am enough. I am worthy. I attract abundance. I attract wealth. All great things come to me. Like, stuff like that is really important for me.
No, you got to speak shit like that over your life. And
yeah,
like I was talking to somebody else about, you also have to accept what you want for yourself and then reject the things that you don't see for yourself. Like somebody could be coming up to me, calling me all types of crazy, stupid, foolish. I reject that.
Right.
But I will accept the positive things coming into my life because, you know, you are a product of what you're consuming and what you're allowing around yourself.
Yeah, and then another thing about that is also like who you surround yourself with. Are the people around you, are they talking down on themselves all the time? Like, that's really important.
It is. It really is.
And it can, like, change the way that you think. And you're like, dang, like, am I really the shit? Or am I just, is this just like a facade? Or, like, am I just crazy?
It's crazy motherfuckers be having thoughts like that. Because I don't. I really think I'm the bomb diggity. I be in this hoe. That's really how I feel about myself.
Yeah.
I feel like you almost have to have a delusional amount of.
You do.
Yes.
You have to be delusional.
I be delusional all the time. You can't tell me shit.
You know.
Because
like,
I do what I want to do.
And that's why I'm having to, like, really get into, like, being delusional more often.
On what level would you consider the delusional that's delusioning?
From a scale?
Yeah, 1 to 10.
I'd be like a 7, a 6 to 7.
That's healthy.
It's healthy. I'm trying to get it like a 6 to 7 all the time. Like sometimes you be like, I don't really feel my best right now.
Friend, sometimes I'm real arrogant. I'm full of myself. Dog, I like that though. Like, I like being arrogant. I like being poised. Like, going into spaces.
And just knowing, like, you are it.
But I be scared the fuck out of motherfuckers when they see me. I be commanding and demanding respect. You gonna know something when you see my ass.
I just delusionally believed that I could. I just absolutely believed I could. And that made the world move out of my way. Like a small drop of water on a rock, eventually there'll be a river. And I was just persistent and I believed I could. And like from that belief, by the way, comes all of the skills. As I said, failure is feedback. So speaking, sales, how to build a business, all of that comes by just persistence. And then you get skills. And then you get knowledge. But it all starts with just that fucking persistence. I'm not quitting at this thing. I need to. I must.
And I think you're right. I think a lot of that stuff starts with self, like, and is rethinking the way that you carry yourself and rethinking the way that you view yourself. Because even just the way that I walk, when I'm walking into a room, my posture straight up and down. I walk with my head up. I know where I'm going. I'm not constantly on my phone and shit. Like, I speak up when I talk. To me, those are examples of like self-belief. Like,
yes, and confidence.
Yes.
For sure.
And I was talking about like the privilege of having confidence, because confidence is just as attractive as being pretty. Like, that adds so much.
It does. And it does make you very attractive, and like it'll make you like a magnet, I feel like, in a way. Like, just to walk in a room and have confidence, like everybody will be drawn to you.
I know that.
Simply from that.
That's me all day, every day. Like, no, I'm for real, Taylor, especially when I was in college, because I was always in spaces where everybody in college was plainly white. I have a degree in history, so all my peers were the white nerds or like sorority white girls, and I'll be the only black person dressed to the T. I looking like and I'm also plus size, so like I feel like society expects me not to believe in myself, because how dare you? How dare you believe in yourself to the point where we can't take it away from you? Because if I was in your shoes, I wouldn't dare have that type of confidence. And I know that's how motherfuckers feel, but that ain't got shit to do with me.
No.
And when people see me, they be like, I've gotten often people think that I'm like very, very prepared, like well prepared. I always have my shit together. I always look nice, and I'm not timid. I'm not afraid, but it's because once again, I believe in myself. And that is a form of resistance. And I want people to really understand that, because when you are in the positions that we're in, we are black women. And then on top of that, colorism, because you're a darker skinned black woman. They push you so far down to the intersection that it is simply an act of pushing back against Eurocentric thought, Eurocentric beauty standards, white supremacy, the patriarchy. It is simply a sense of resistance, simply just to believe in yourself, because society has told us for so long that we ain't worth the shit.
Yeah, and that was something I had to get over, because for the longest, like, I did not like my skin. Like, growing up, I hated it.
I think you as well as your siblings have beautiful chocolate skin.
Yes. But I was like the darkest one. My mom was light skinned, and like the
shout
other
out to Katina.
And then like the other women who really raised me were like light skinned women. And so it's like the beauty, you as a child, you looking at the women in your family, it's like the standards of kind of like beauty. At least that's how I saw it. And so I was like, I don't look like them.
No, you don't. And I've also thought about, like, your mom will never understand the oppression you go through as a light-skinned woman.
And, like, I remember, I think I was, like, 8, and I cried. And, like, she came in the room, she was like, what's wrong? I was like, because I was being bullied because I was dark-skinned. And she was like, Taylor, she was like, I knew this was going to happen. And she was just trying to tell me, like, I am, stereotypical. You are beautiful. You are worthy. Like, none of that matters. They don't know you. And in my head, like, now I appreciate it, but in my head as a child, just like,
I don't want to hear this basic ass shit.
No. I don't want to hear it from you. Like, you don't understand.
Yeah.
You'll never understand.
Or find a way to connect with me that goes beyond surface level rhetoric.
Yeah.
I understand that. And I know that it's hard, especially when we got all this, like, they generation when it come to colorism.
It was wild.
Different. Because my mom still colorist to this day. To the day of our Lord 2023, baby. My mama still be on motherfuckers' asses and ain't got nobody room to talk. But it's life.
Yeah.
The most difficult thing I've ever done was to believe that I can do it. When you don't know what's impacting you, and it's something that's holding you down and you're not aware of it, you live in a dominant culture that is designed to destroy your sense of self and your belief in yourself. And you have to learn ways in which you can begin to connect with this power that you have within yourself to handle where you are. The key is to be constantly in a perpetual process of discovering the truth of who you are and fighting constantly to look for ways in which you can escape the inner conversation.
How has your journey influenced your perspective of beauty standards and societal expectations?
I believe that, like, the beauty standards and the expectations, like, they aren't real.
No, they're not.
And they're unattainable. Like, what you see or what the standard is and what is portrayed, I feel like on social media, like, they don't even look like that. So what's the point?
When we're thinking about, like, Eurocentric beauty standards, again, that's always going to revert back to whiteness. Because, Taylor, I don't know if you knew, but if it ain't white, it's not right.
Yeah.
No, it's not. Whiteness, thinness, a very thin, athletic physique, light blue eyes or light eyes and straight long hair. But throughout the ages, we see so many examples of black women really loving themselves and then being punished for it. So like a great example would be with black hair. You will see, like, especially down in the southern parts of Louisiana, white men were super attracted to dark skinned women and their hair texture, and they would rape those women, and the wives would become jealous. So as a result, they made black women cover up their hair. So like, this shows you that although you might not be like the beauty standard, you're still the result of lust.
Yeah.
But how, like, what have you learned about the beauty standard? Like, okay, here's a question for you. As a model, like, what features do you think about yourself are the most attractive, or like, what is it about your look that people like the most?
I feel like it's the skin.
Yes.
And hair.
Yes, and those are two things that society has told you is a big no-no.
Yeah, but like, they love it. Like, a lot of the shoots, they just like, yeah, we want her with the fro.
You be letting them white people touch your hair?
No.
Do they ask to do it?
No.
Good, that's nice.
They get really nervous. Like, they don't know what to do. So they just like, make sure she come here with her hair done.
I bet you be scaring the fuck out of them when you walk up in there.
I don't think I scare them.
Is that
maybe a little intimidated, but like, I don't think
I intimidate and scare motherfuckers when they come across me, especially like them little bitty white women. White women be petite. They be little fuck.
Oh my god.
They be like little figurines. They be so little and fragile and dainty. And I walk up on them bitch be stuttering when I see them.
Oh my goodness. But yeah, like, it's the hair. They request for the hair. They never touch my hair ever. And skin.
Did you, this is something you did want to talk about, like, you're forced to have to like do your own hair and do your own makeup because a lot of people don't know how to do your the way you
my
do
hair. I do. I've taken lots of jobs, and like, I've gone on jobs, and I've figured out like they don't know how to do my makeup, and I look crazy. And I got to the point where my agent was just like, look, if you don't think they can do it, you do your own makeup.
So did you learn how to do your own makeup and hair on the fly?
I've been like, for a lot of my shoots I did, like, on my Instagram page, I did my own hair and makeup.
That's nice.
Only recently have I got like a makeup artist who know how to do my makeup, and it's like really nice.
Is it hard to find people that know how to like properly do makeup on darker skin?
I feel like in a way, yes, but then also like, if it's a creative shoot, I know somebody like what to do. But like, if it's a job and say the job is looking for somebody, I feel like a lot of them, because a lot of them are like white-owned businesses, it might be hard for them because they don't know where to look.
I've been hearing a lot of horror stories like that, like within like the acting industry. I know Sky Jackson talked about when she was on Hey Jessie, she had to learn how to do her own hair. Or the Black Witch off of The Chilling Adventures of Sabrina, Constance, she had to wake up at 4 o'clock in the morning, finger wave her own hair for every episode.
And then I think like the girl who played like Bonnie off like the Vampire Diaries, how like they didn't even let her wear her natural hair.
Yes, they put a wig on her every time. Or the black nurse from off of Grey's Anatomy, like you could sit there and watch Grey's Anatomy and see that bowl cut wig sitting on top of her scalp, and you just look at this shit and just know it wasn't no black person within reach to have said something and advocated on her behalf. But hey, them bitches still go out banging, and they show you how much they believe in themselves. Like, shit still got to get done at the end of the day.
Yeah, and they still got to do what they got to do.
You better stop motherfucking doubting yourself. Letting these poor ass motherfucking hoes make you feel like you ain't the motherfucking one. Like you ain't got no motherfucking motion. You is the motherfucking motion. Fuck wrong with you? You wanna pop your shit? Pop it. What the fuck they gonna do? Nothing. Now if a bitch asks you how you motherfucking feel, you know what to motherfucking tell them. Love a light. Fuck wrong with you?
So what steps have you taken really to empower others to embrace their own self-belief and challenge societal norms?
Well, for one, just to be there, to let them know, like, through their journey, like, with my friend in particular, like, she's going through like a weight loss journey, and just making sure that I'm there for her, and like I'm helping her when she needs help, and like I'm letting her know that like I see her work and her change. And I feel like that is really important for other people's journey, like to know that other people see you,
the validation.
Yeah, and to see your progress and push you to go further and to not stop. It means a lot.
Very empathetic, and that's something that I feel like a lot of people in our generation struggle with, is the ability to feel how other people feel, even though it ain't got shit to do with you.
Yeah. So that, and then also like to make sure like just don't worry what nobody else think of you when you're going through that.
Do people ever leave like mean comments up under your Instagram, social media pictures or anything?
No, not yet.
That's a blessing. Like my TikTok page for this podcast, them motherfuckers be on my ass.
That's what, because anybody be on TikTok for real.
But even YouTube too, and it's also the same thing. Yes, but they mean as fuck, and I still keep going.
They just don't have nothing else to do.
I be laughing.
I would too, but that's all. Honestly, I really admire you in this podcast because I have an issue with, I guess, having more of a presence on social media outside of modeling.
I do too. I don't like outside of this podcast, you're not gonna see me putting my personal business on social media. You're not gonna, like, when I'm moving and going to different cities, people not gonna see it. And I've gotten to the point where even now I really hate talking about myself specifically. So like for my advocacy plan for my fellowship out in Jackson, I have to tell a story of self. So that means I gotta sit down and write a whole fucking paper about who I am, and I know who I am, so I don't really feel the need to tell nobody else who the fuck I am. Like, you know what the fuck it is, you know what time it is, and that's really how I feel. But that is protecting your peace.
Yeah.
Like, people don't know how I move in real life. People don't know what I'm doing in real life, and that is how you keep all that negative energy out. Because once you get to the point, and I've done this throughout my life too, where you are posting about what you're going through and all that stuff, you get monitoring spirits. You have people that'll sit up there and just will watch just for entertainment, or literally preying on your downfall. So that's where like concepts like evil eye come in, that where people are just like constantly watching it, but they're just implicating that negative energy and stuff. I've gotten to the point where if I'm not promoting my podcast, I ain't saying shit. Because I know what the fuck I'm doing. I don't need everybody to know what I'm doing all the time.
Right. But also, like, in that, when it comes to, like, people talking negative and stuff like that, because, I mean, I haven't had it on, like, social media. I have had, like, a few words, probably, like, in passing with people, but like I just feel as that's like them projecting whatever insecurities they have.
That's usually what it is.
Yeah, and so I don't even try not to even take it personal.
Just wait till Instagram get to tell you who's screenshotting your shit and who's sending your shit around, and you really know what these motherfuckers do in their free time.
I see people saving stuff, and I like some stuff. I'm like, why? I don't know who that is. So why they saving it? Okay.
I be the same way, because a lot of people say my content too. I pray that it's for a good reason.
Yeah,
that's the only thing I can do. And also because like my send button is crazy too. Like, people circulate my content a lot, so like all I can do is hope for the best and be prepared for the worst.
Yeah.
Okay, Taylor, how has mental health and body dysmorphia affected your journey in the modeling industry, and what strategies have you found helpful in maintaining your well-being?
At the beginning, it was an obstacle, I would say, because like I would compare myself to other models who are like getting different jobs and stuff, or like if I would show up to like a casting or anything like that, I would look around and be like, oh, I don't look like these girls. Like, I don't think I'm gonna make it. I don't think I'm gonna get it. But honestly, you have to kind of adjust your perspective of yourself and like your differences, I feel, and look at them as like a key to get what you want instead of like an obstacle in the way.
Yes, self-doubt can really fuck you over. I can tell you a quick story. So my junior year in college, I had joined an organization on campus named Ideal Woman. And so, like, the first year, I was just a member. And then my Ideal Woman president nominated me to become the historian. So, I wrote my speech out, made a PowerPoint, got ready for my presentation, and I was so hard on myself. Like, I didn't want to do it. I up until the moment I walked in the room, I was like, I'm just gonna denounce it. I'm gonna tell everybody that whoever is running against me deserves it. So I stepped into the room and I saw the person who was giving a speech before me, my opponent who was running against me. And that shit was so fucking boo-boo. It was so bad that it changed my mind in that moment. And I was like, oh shit, I got this. And then
might as well go ahead and do it.
Guess who won?
You.
Of course I did, and I continue to win. It's when you get into that moment. Like, you know, it's like you can have so much doubt in yourself, and then you get up there and you just perform you perform the things that come innately to you.
Yes. And I feel like also, like, sometimes in the spare of the moment, it's like when you can get that energy and like that confidence in yourself to push through. And I feel like that's real beautiful.
Well, you know, a lot of niggas fold under pressure.
Some do, but some can like prevail.
I hate that. When people are going through like that harsh, like self-doubt, it's almost impossible to talk them out of that type of mindset in the moment.
Yeah, they're constantly talking to themselves in that way, and like they don't rewire their brain to be like, okay, nah, like I'm the shit. I can do this. I'm worth this. Once again, I feel like that goes back to the whole affirmation thing and like your environment in which you surround yourself with, in which you feed yourself like through social media or whatever it is.
Does modeling really fuck with your mental health? Like, do you feel like your anxiety has been heightened?
At one point it was. Like, at one point I was like real anxious. Like, just to go out. Like, here lately, well, for a couple of years now, it's easy to like go out to a job. Everybody's normally nice. But before I was very anxious, very to myself, would not really talk much. Sometimes I am kind of quiet, but that's just me as a person for real. But it did make me very anxious.
I could see that. I know that, like, with me personally, I remember I used to tell people that I struggle with anxiety, and like me being the character that I am, a lot of people didn't believe me. And you know, like when it comes to mental health, Black women specifically present things like anxiety, depression, completely different from what is like, you know, the standard.
Right.
So like maybe if I'm anxious, I might be a little bit more aggressive, or you were talking about how you self-seclude yourself, or you'll build up a wall. So like you see a cracker woman, she going through anxiety, it won't present on her face like that. But tell me more about like your mental health journey, like throughout all of this.
Before, like, well, for one, I feel like COVID and that whole period, like mental health wise, kind of like bothered me because like in that time period, I guess, you know how like people say like women go through like a second puberty and like their body changes over again, and then like also wasn't as active, gained a little bit of weight. In high school, I was super duper skinny. I didn't have any of these little curves I got now.
Good.
And so like mentally, I was like, I don't know if I like the way I look for real. Like, is it okay for me to like go out and take these pictures and do these pictures and stuff like that? And I just had to like put in the work because I was like, well, I'm not happy with the way I look, and I want to make a little bit of progress, but it's not because somebody told me that I want to do it for myself. So I just had to put in the work and was like, okay, if I'm not happy with this and I want to prevail in this career and make sure that I feel confident in myself, and this is one of the things that I need to get past, I started working out. I changed my diet, and just fell in love with the new me.
That's really nice. So you were talking about working out. I wanted to bring up the fact that number one, when it comes to working out, like men specifically, like right now in this era, have been struggling with eating disorders when it comes to working out. And I don't know if like people ever pay attention to that, but like people get in the gym and like they'll just eat chicken cutlets and brown rice for like weeks on end, and then some people, you know, they go through, what is it when you be throwing up? Bulimia. And I know that is very common, not only in like the athletic world, but within the modeling fear. So I guess my question is have you seen anything like that with your personal eyes, or have you experienced anything when it comes to like eating disorders within the modeling industry?
Me personally, no.
That's good.
At least, yeah, no.
I in and of itself, because like when I think of like eating disorders, you know, I think that's a white people thing. Like,
well, no, anybody can do it, and I know, like, for some people, like, I've just, like, saw people's story on, like, TikTok and stuff like that, and they'll be, like, they'll go and they'll, like, binge, and then, like, they'll feel bad about it, and then, like, throw up.
Mm-hmm.
Or, like, they'll get in a modeling agency, and the modeling agency will like them, but then want them to lose, like, 10 to 15 pounds.
Mm-hmm.
But they're already skinny girls, so it's, like, not even possible. And I feel like, at first, I would never try to put myself in that type of position to be with the agency who didn't want me for how I look.
Mm-hmm.
And if I was to get into an agency and they wanted me like that, I would have to, like, stop working with them.
As you should, and that is a form of self-respect. Like, how
right.
can you truly love yourself or respect yourself wholly if you are damaging your temple like that?
Right.
Especially if you're modeling, that's the money maker right there.
Right. And then also, like, it's important to just make sure you're not forcing yourself to be in spaces where you're not wanted.
Very much that. Now, I am a huge advocate for Black people finding their way to navigate white spaces, but you got to know when to leave.
Right.
And you got to know what you will and won't tolerate, because all spaces ain't safe spaces.
No.
You can continue talking.
And then also realize, like, there is a space for you.
There is, and if there's not, you can make a space for yourself.
Exactly.
And again, that goes back to self-belief, because you have to believe yourself to even believe that what you are willing to create is willing to thrive. And then you have to believe in yourself to the point where you continue to go even when your business is not doing as well as you would think you would.
Mm-hmm.
So I would urge them, if you can't get a seat at the table, well, you knock down a tree and build your own table.
Right.
That's what type of school of thought I come from.
Mm-hmm.
Want to know Naomi's beauty secrets?
I shouldn't even say this to you, but I eat McDonald's, I eat Kentucky Fried Chicken, I eat pizza, but I can't say that I eat every day, because it's sometimes I just can't, there's no time, and you know, it's not great eating just before you go to bed, so you just say forget it, I'd rather sleep than eat. That's my motto. So
I wanted to ask you this. So Taylor, what are your thoughts on humility, like being humble?
I try to be humble a lot, honestly. Like, I'm not one to brag a lot. And I've had to work on, I guess, expressing myself more, like, my accomplishments and stuff like that. And, like, for the longest amount of time, like, I wouldn't just up and just tell somebody, hey, I model. Like, if they bring it up in conversation, yeah, I do that. Or I won't really, like, if somebody give me a compliment, I'll be like, oh, thank you. But, like, I try my best to be humble and not to be, like,
bratty.
Yeah. Or, like, snobby or anything like that. I try my best just to keep it all, like,
to yourself.
Yeah.
Taylor, I don't feel that way about humility at all. So, like, me personally, I feel like humility is oxymoronic. In order for you to be humble, you have to first understand and know within yourself that you the shit.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have to take the next step to realize that if you, like, promote it, you will be seen as arrogant, egotistical. So you choose to be humble, number one, to keep eyes off of you, as well as a way to, like, change the way people perceive you, right? Like me, and these are just my thoughts. I know everybody's not gonna agree with it, but me, I like to talk my shit, and I like to pop my shit, and I like to let people know, like, what the fuck I got going on. So, like, I don't personally like humility for myself. Like, if I got some shit going on, I ain't got no problem saying it, but I'm not the type of person that's just screaming it off the rooftops and stuff about it. And I also don't have a nasty attitude. Like, I'm still very sweet. I'm kind. I'm very empathetic. But when it comes to being humble, you ain't gonna stop me. Like, and I be around a lot of men, and men love it when you talk your shit. God damn it. They love it when you pop your shit, and vice versa. I love being around men who are considered to be cocky or egotistical, because they let me know, you walking it like you talking it.
Right. But it is something I'm working on, and I'm still on that journey of, like, I guess, expressing myself more when it comes to that.
I love bitches that toot their own horn. Like, I'm for real. I feel like you are in a position in your life where you should be able to talk your shit and toot your own horn and let motherfuckers know I know who I am. And I believe in myself because I have accomplished X, Y, and Z. And, if you in a situation, we got to let motherfuckers know up ripping off front, like, what time it is, do it.
Right. I'm going to get there.
You will. It takes time. And, like, I have epiphanies often, like, moments of, like, straight conscious clarity. And, like, things will just click for me, and then I'll take, like, my perspective will shift. So, like, these are realizations I've come over, like, through the years about who I am and what my personality is, because I might be the cockiest bitch that a lot of people have met, but I feel like I've worked to be that.
Yeah.
And I'm not rude. I ain't saying nothing to hurt nobody's feelings. I'm a nice young lady. I just know I'm that bitch. Mm-hmm.
I'll never forget somebody said, there's humility and there's being too humble. And I said, what does that mean? They said, sometimes you could be so humble where you disappear in the room. You disappear in the deals. You disappear in negotiating what you really deserve. Don't be so grateful and so humble that this opportunity presents itself that you don't do whatever you got to do to make sure that business-wise, you don't take care of business.
How have you been able to find employment through this non-traditional means? And how have you been working to break generational curses?
When it comes to modeling, really, I got a lot of my jobs after getting signed. It helped a lot. And then also in this as well, networking. And I'm still not making like the money I would like to make from it. It's still like a work in progress. And it is kind of work is, because basically like you're freelance. Mm-hmm. So like, I remember 1 month I had like a job every weekend. And then like 2 months later, I didn't have nothing.
Just dry.
Yeah, and especially here in Mississippi, like I would definitely have to move because the only thing that's really here is like boutiques.
Have you done Mississippi Fashion Week before?
No.
Have you considered doing Mississippi Fashion Week?
I don't even know what that is for real.
So I did Mississippi Fashion Week, I want to say in 2017. It's centered in Jackson. So all of the big brands, fashion houses, designers, it's a walk-in, it's a runway show like any fashion week, but that's where the one in Mississippi is located in.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. It would be something I would do, but with work, especially being here in Mississippi and it's small, and like modeling here isn't really that big. You just gonna model for like a few small businesses for real, or you have to leave out of Mississippi to get work, like big work.
And that's the next question. So what are the towns in the South that are like really good when it comes to like finding jobs or really good photographers?
Here I have like a good photographer friend, and then also a lot of my other photographers are in Jackson.
That's nice. It's some very nice photographers out in Jackson, and they be doing the work. I love the Mississippi Fashion Walk. Mm-hmm. Photo walk. Have you ever done the photo walk down in Jackson?
No, I wanted to, but I missed it.
Oh, girl, they always have them. Like, for those who don't know, the city of Jackson, a group of photographers get together, set up a location. They set up a theme, tell people what to wear, and anybody can come dressed up in the theme and get, like, free photos. And I think that's a great way to get people out of their house and get them to do shit.
And then also networking is also nice. Yes. You want to, like, because a lot of those photographers as well, like, most of them either reached out to me or like on their Instagram, they'll just post like, hey, I need somebody to shoot next weekend, and you can just DM them.
That's nice. Mm-hmm. I miss them days, but not really. My next question really is about like breaking generational curses. Like, how are you going about breaking those curses, whether they be serious or not serious?
with that, it's mostly like, say, confidence, just showing like my nieces and nephews and everybody, like, you can be confident in anything you do. You don't have to do like a traditional job to succeed in life, like work a 9 to 5 or anything like that. And if you have like a hobby that you can turn into your business, do it.
That is true. I like that a lot. I love the idea of like non-traditional routes of doing things because it speaks so much truth to the proverb of it's more than one way to skin a cat. I think that it is very scary though, like when there's no definite set path route like placed out in front of you with steps and stuff. You kind of have to make a way out of no way, which is very ambitious.
Yes. And then like in that, I had a lot of family members, and like they wanted me to take certain jobs where it would be like my career. And I was like, I don't want to do that. I want to do something that I enjoy. And they would be like, well, I worked so-and-so job for this long, and I had to do what I had to do to make money. I was like, I get that, and I understand doing that for a period of time. But in the meantime, you can also be focusing on like your dream job or whatever it is you want to do.
Yeah. I really I have a cousin, Kayla Miner, who's out in Chicago, and she's doing modeling, and she said something so profound. Like, I love the idea that Kayla worked so that she could support her dreams.
Yeah.
And I love that for her. Like, that bitch made me get up and get to working and shit, because I feel like I wasn't doing enough. But, you know, like, I love it for her, and I love the concept of, like, I'm working right now so that in the future I'll be prepared.
You can, yeah.
Yes, but the baby boomers, they a troublesome handful group of people, and they just so stuck on how shit used to be that they're almost not able to see the future or not cognizant to see how things have really changed. Now, the question that the bitches have been waiting for all afternoon, they wanted to know, what steps would you recommend for aspiring models who would want to really just break into this industry and put a stamp on it?
Well, first, just go out and take pictures. Practice makes perfect, really. Like I said before, reach out to local photographers, makeup artists. Also, like, some boutiques around you might want models as well. You can see if they are hiring models for like their boutiques and stuff like that. Also, get your Instagram
together.
Yes.
Yeah, get your weather together, pimpin'.
Get your Instagram under control, because that's one big thing. Or, well, basically all media. Get them all under control, because that's one thing that like agencies will look at, and I feel like it's a reflection of you. Of course. Build your portfolio. See exactly what type of modeling you want to do. Research agencies, research modeling, practice in the mirror, practice walking.
Now, I was going to say that. Now, another modeling friend, Taylor Riddell, I've known her since I've been at Mississippi State. Taylor literally practices her poses in the mirror. And when I first started like taking pictures and stuff, I would see Taylor. She would be practicing, going over, researching and stuff. It's not enough just to have like pretty face. You got to know what to do with your body so you don't look stiff and awkward.
And learn your angles, all of that.
I also like the idea, like, I feel like a lot of models need to learn how to do it on their own. Now, I have another friend. Her name is Runtier Anastasia. She's from Georgia, and she got her degree somewhere in New York, a fashion school, FIT, and she is phenomenal. She's done work all throughout the East Coast, all throughout the South. Runtier first started learning how to take her own pictures by herself, and she is somebody that like self-esteem on 10, rightfully so, and she knows her work. But like learning how to take your own pictures, learning how to edit your own pictures,
yes,
like
that's very important. Like for me, I remember like in high school when I first started modeling, I took photography classes because I wanted to know both sides of the camera and how it worked and why I have to like face a certain way, like where, like, what time of the day is like the best to take the pictures.
Tell them that, like, what are the go-tos when taking pictures? You know, people always be talking about golden hour.
Yeah, the golden hour is like right when the sun is like about to set, but it's not too harsh. You don't want anything harsh. You don't want too many shadows on your face because it make you look funny.
Yeah.
And do not take pictures when the sun is like in the middle of the sky, like at noon and it's too hot. don't do it.
Nah, don't do it.
Or like if it's an overcast, that's also really good too.
Yeah, I do like that.
Mm-hmm.
Or even with like posing, like my rule of thumb is always make sure you're making triangles with your body parts and stuff. That's a great way to like add motion and movement into photos and stuff.
And then another thing I would say, also said networking is good. And if you don't want to go straight into a agency, I would say looking into a mother agency around you, because they help develop you. And they also have like development camps where they practice posing, walking, how you should conduct yourself for casting, stuff like that. What stuff you need in like your model bag when you go on a job. What else? And they basically help you build your portfolio, and then they'll send it off.
What's the name of yours?
Lucid Models.
Yes, I just wanted to get that out there just in case, because you gotta hand shit to niggas. You can't just like.
Yes, it's called Lucid Models. They're based in Jackson, and you can look. There's a few other, I think, but that's the one I'm with. And that's about it.
Yeah, I love that. Just for the girlies and for the guys, just be yourself. Like another guy, Jeffrey, he's been taking photos, and his is more like editorial fashion photos and stuff. And you could just see like his personality and persona like really just displayed throughout his photos and stuff. So that goes back to self-belief and knowing yourself, because once you know yourself, you'll know what aesthetic works for you.
Right. And then also another big important thing is make sure you take some really good digitals. Normally you have to wear like all black, but I would say wear things to make you look good, that flatters your body, and take the pictures against like a blank wall and no makeup.
But I bet you one thing though. I bet can't nobody on this planet ever make you hate yourself again. I bet not one motherfucker on this planet, no matter what they do to you ever, whatever they say to you, I bet you they could never take your soul. Not now, not after all the work you did. Not after all the work you did. I bet you can't nobody get you to hate yourself again, how you used to. Not after all the work you did. Not after all the work you did. I bet can't nobody out here get you to fucking not fuck with yourself no more. Not after all the work you did. Bitch, you could be anything. You could have no tangible nothing, bitch, and still love your motherfucking self after all the work you did. I'm proud of you, ho. I'm proud of you. I'm proud of you. Can't do shit to your soul. They can't do nothing to your magic, your power, your light, your energy. They can't do shit. Not a motherfucking thing. Because you did the work. Amen and Ashe. Love you.
Shout out to the slaves.
Yeah, shout out to the slaves. You feel me? Shout out to Harriet Tubman.
Shout out to the she's a real nigga.
Yeah, shout out to the Mississippi niggas. Yeah, shout out to the Mississippi niggas. Yeah, big penitentiary tractor dragging ass niggas. Yeah. And they don't talk loud. They whisper. Dangerous niggas whisper.
And shout out again to all those people who hate my guts.
Y'all are doing a justice and an effort to the world. Keep breaking these men down one at a time.
Shout out LGBTQ.
You are obsessed and sick.
We are back with the Big Black Shout Out, the blackest shout out in the world. The Big Black Shout Out is a segment about helping circulate the black dollar back into our communities, as well as showcasing hidden black-owned gems. So, Taylor, I just wanted to ask you, who would you like to shout out today?
I would like to shout out Bel Air. There's a black-owned boutique. Also, Pamper Me Pretty for any of your facial and waxing needs. And also made by Ashley Mack for custom cookies and butter cake.
Oh, Ashley does make really nice.
They're really nice. I want to get some for my birthday.
She had like the little lemon drop cookies, and she was selling them at one of the fairs, and they really were so nice. They were like cookies you can have at like weddings and stuff.
Birthday parties and just anything.
They're
really,
like really dainty and cute.
And she can customize them to like almost anything you want.
Well, shout out to Ashley. I love that. She's been doing that for years now. Yeah, I love that. Tell me more about Pamper Me Pretty. What you be getting done down there?
I get waxed there.
Oh, they be snatching the hair out your hoo-ha?
I don't like shaving no more.
Oh, girl, I'm natural everywhere. I'm a grown woman.
I really want to get like laser.
Why?
When I can afford, because I'm tired of shaving and like waxing. It helps, but like I'd rather just
Get it out the way.
What you gonna do when your pussy lip fall off?
It shouldn't.
The laser.
It shouldn't. They got lasers for black people now, so it don't burn you.
Baby, you seen Dr. Doofus first with his little laser. Anything that laser hit, it just slice on off.
Nah.
You gonna be walking around like lopsided.
I'm gonna be good. I'm gonna get my legs.
Yes, laser. And I love that. Who does that?
I don't know who. I need to look, but it is expensive. So whenever I get my money up enough to afford it, because you have to do a couple of sessions. I think like 6 to like really see results.
Oh wow! It's free just to be me, baby. Please continue.
But yeah, so I go to her for waxing in Bel Air. It's a boutique, online boutique
in Starkville, Mississippi. Is it located in Starkville? Oh no, that's from Mississippi State alumni, Bel Air. Yes, I know, such a sweet young lady. Yeah, I be seeing her stuff online. I've known that girl for a while too. Yes, she been work. She does really good work.
Yes,
her photos are so nice. Like the photos she used to advertise her product,
beautiful,
gorgeous. I'm talking about editorial. Like I be trying to figure out how her stuff come out the way it does.
And her clothing, they're all gorgeous. Like, and you really can't find some of that stuff around here too.
Well, that's good. It takes a lot of skills to be able to be a good buyer. I love it. Shout out to Bel Air, Pamper Me Pretty. What was the last place?
Made by Ashley Mack.
Yes, made by Ashley Mack. You got anybody else you want to shout out?
That's all.
Well, thank you so much. Now, if you or someone you know has a black-owned business and you would like a shout-out, make sure you're reaching out to me at the Afrocentric Podcast. That's the Afrocentric Podcast at gmail.com. Well, Taylor, I want to thank you so much for spending this time and imparting so much wisdom. I know that this specific area is not something that's super common, so thank you for believing in yourself and being an example for all of the little black girls, the black women, the men who would want to be in your position, and thank you for paving the way for the people that come after you. So, before I let you go, I wanted to ask you, is there anything that you would like to tell the black community?
Whatever you're going through and whatever path you're on, just keep prevailing. I know it can be very stressful, especially in today's world and everything going on the news, but just keep believing in yourself and keep moving forward.
That was so sweet. Thank you so much, Taylor. Thank you for choosing to be Afrocentric today. Now, for my followers, I want to thank you guys as well. Thank you so much for choosing to be Afrocentric. Please remember that Black Lives Matter. Make sure that we are listening and protecting black women and children. And the only thing you must do in this lifetime is be black and die. This is a podcast for the niggas in the back, and here at the Afrocentric Podcast, we are just civilized people having civilized conversations. We'll talk to you guys soon. Bye-bye.
Bye.
I've never, ever started an interview this way. But you know that people call you a bitch.
Yeah.
And you don't mind.
No, I do mind. I think that for me, a woman that's in control of her work or makes decisions or is very opinionated is called a bitch. And I think that a man, when he's like that, it's called nothing. It's fine.
Naomi, do you think that in 5 years people will still be saying, she's a bitch?
I hope so. I hope they do. I'm going to be remembered for something. I'm going to be remembered for being a bitch. But a hard-working bitch. And a loyal bitch.